All right, we can change the subject.
Please.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about rape?
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So,
Wow.
in The Boys, latest episode, Huey gets raped. And keep in mind, so I don't know if you guys know Huey. They got a picture of him. Here he is right here. I think this is him getting raped. I'm not sure. I didn't watch the episode.
I watched it.
I haven't seen it yet.
I stopped watching.
No, hold on a second. Now, what I got to give you the context here. So the reason that this is bad is because they write it off as a joke. They joke about him getting raped and sexually assaulted. And this is the same show that turned Starlight getting sexually assaulted by the Deep into a serious thing.
That's because
Like
it's
it
a
was
guy.
a serious
it's okay.
thing, but because it's a white guy, it's okay.
So
It's a joke.
I saw Forbes made a they had an article
was he
where
wearing?
they said season 4 of The Boys is just going for shock value and it's not good. And I guess somebody who really likes the show said, "Oh my God, he didn't even get penetrated. He was just getting tickled." So
He said he
Technically,
has to
yeah.
give oral sex to somebody.
Huey didn't get penetrated in the episode, but yeah, it was still like the character Tech Knight. It feels as if like now what they're doing on The Boys is like every single character now has to be like cartoonishly evil in order to like one up Homelander in terms of like being a horrible human being, or I guess soup or whatever. And it's just like too much now, in my opinion. It's like,
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
After that episode where he killed those scientists, nobody is beating Homelander right now, bro.
no,
Nothing is. Homelander's
But
still
still.
the king.
yeah.
I felt like everything Homelander is great, but I just felt like the show really with each season felt more and more like I was being lectured, and I was like, this is just not fun for me. Like I just kind of after season 3, I was like, I'm done. Like I don't know.
Wasn't that
No, yeah, definitely season 4 so far feels like they are targeting specifically conservative people.
Well, they've been doing
That's what I'm
that
thinking
since
too.
season 2. They called everyone a Nazi.
But see, wasn't that their intention though? Wasn't their intention to actually like?
It really wasn't. It really wasn't bothering me. I stopped watching this season because I don't know. I just lost interest. I watched the first episode of the new season and I just didn't care for it. Something has changed. The quality and the writing has gone down. Everything up to season 4, I did enjoy actually, but now it's just it feels like there's a bitter spite behind the writing. Like
Yeah, there is.
they're trying to spite people.
I mean, season 3 was the message of season 3 was that cancel culture is good. That was the message of the show, like pretty openly. I mean, down to the point where every time a bad character does something and gets flack, they go, "Am I being canceled?" Because that's what they're trying to say is cancel culture.
Yeah, they use the character in Firecracker, and Firecracker literally has a whole scene where she talks about how she kind of speaks to conservative people, even though she knows deep down that they can't change anything, and that's like a big part of like her story is that she's just supposed to be this like conservative talking head, you know, like she even refers to Sister Sage, and she says, "You're one of the good ones." Like one of the good black people. That's like what she means. And it's just like, I'm watching it now mostly out of morbid curiosity, just to see like what's going to happen. Because I've never read the comics, but it's definitely not as good as seasons 1 and 2, in my opinion. Those are way better. Like, I still think like peak The Boys was like seasons 1 and 2. Like when Homelander's on that airplane with Maeve.
Oh, that was cold right there.
That's
bro, that was
one of the best scenes in the whole show.
Bro, that was cold. That was cold.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
I want to ask y'all something. You think what's wrong with Mother Milk this season? Is he sick or something? He's skinnier.
Maybe he's on that Ozempic, whatever. Is that what it's called?
Because he was bulky. He was like yoked up. Now he's like real skinny.
They're having like Ozempic parties in Hollywood. So I think maybe he was on that. That might be why. Like Ozempic, there is no cheating to getting fit.
I take Ozempic.
Are you like it's? I've heard some bad things about Ozempic, and
that's the stuff for people with diabetes, right?
Yeah.
That's what it was supposed to be for. But
Well,
people
that's
are
the
using it
problem
to
is now that
lose weight.
I was gonna say, well, and this is where I ran into some issues a while back. Is they opened it up so people could buy it over the counter basically to lose weight. So now we're having a shortage of it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Hey, that's crazy.
Like some
Make
people,
sure
like
you're
they
careful
look
with it.
bad when they
Yeah.
when they lose all their weight. Like something changes in their face.
I'm not.
What's the
well, it's
down-
because what's
I'm not-
happening is you're losing a lot of weight without working out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
I've got
making
no
everybody
context
saggy
for this
basically.
because I'm not watching it, but I saw a clip on Twitter that actually made me laugh when Homelander gets sprayed in the face by breast milk or something.
Yeah, so what that is basically
I couldn't help but laugh.
Homelander doesn't respect Firecracker, so she ends up taking a bunch of medications. That's what she says in the show anyway, to basically allow herself to lactate. I don't know how she found out that Homelander's into that, but somehow
they
she
don't
does.
explain
That's how she shows her.
Oh, I
loyalty
saw
to
in the first
Homelander.
season that
Yeah.
whatever that Vaught executive was in a relationship with him, and he gets turned on by like sucking milk out of boobs.
You know, and
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's even a scene in
Yeah.
season 2, I believe, where he takes a person who's like a doppelganger person, and he makes that little guy transform into that executive, just so that he can
right.
relive that fantasy, and then he ends
He
up
got-
killing him.
He got mother issues because he was grown in a lab.
Yeah,
He got mother issues.
but it doesn't explain why Firecracker has like the knowledge that he's into that, but like whatever, I guess, who cares? But now she's like his new kind of like what Stormfront was, not as like intricate though, like because if anyone watched, like Stormfront was much more like that was like his big love, I guess, kind of.
Yeah. I don't know.
And now it's like, I don't know. I really don't know where they're going with the show, to be honest. There's like one season after this, and then I don't know what's going to happen with that Gen V show, because like who's going to care about Gen V
I didn't
if
even
the
watch
voice
it.
is over?
I didn't watch it.
I
was
will
okay.
say this,
No, I think-
Homelander. I say this real quick. Homelander, he's definitely carrying the show.
Oh,
He
100%.
carrying the show.
Yeah.
He carrying
For
the show.
me, it's
If he wa-
I
if he
here's
only
the
care
thing-
about Homelander. and
But the
Butcher
thing
in
of
this.
it is, though, is it seems like because they know people liked that character so much. That's why I said that it felt like, and I've only watched one episode, but from hearing what people are saying about the new season, because like I got the feeling from the first one of this season that there's like a spiteful feeling in the writing.
There is, yeah.
And it feels like they're trying to go out of their way to make you not like him. And like that's what I got out of it. And it sounds like I was correct by the way they're doing this. Like going out of their way to try to, oh, this is definitely the bad guy. Well, no shit, he was the bad guy.
Well, yeah, they have a scene where Sister
people
Sage
like
is basically
villains.
she's supposed to be like the Ozymandias of the boys, I guess. That's the way they
Yeah.
described her in the.
she gives
interviews.
herself a lobotomy.
Yeah,
to-
she could just
yeah.
What?
yeah. She's so basically her superpower is that she's just super smart, smartest person in the world.
Yeah, I kept
So-
watching clips, so she keeps saying smartest person instead of smartest
Yeah,
woman.
yeah,
And
that
the
part was
smartest woman in the world would really care
She
about
keeps
that.
so the
Like-
reason why she lobotomizes herself is because she's been sleeping with the Deep, but she can't sleep with him with her brain at normal capacity because he's too stupid for her. So she basically gets him to lobotomize her. So literally like put
Make her
the
stupid.
pick in her brain to make her
Yeah.
stupid enough so that she can like get on with the Deep. And like, there's a really good scene actually in the most recent episode where she actually gets shot in the head, but she can't die because, well, she can die if you shoot her in the chest, I guess. But if you shoot her in the brain, her brain just regenerates. But she gets shot in the head. So while the bullet's getting out of her brain and like her brain's regenerating, she kind of like, I mean, there's no other way to say it. She basically becomes retarded for like at least a few hours. So she's like sitting there like eating cake with her hands. Like she's just like complete childlike and just completely like just not at all who she was before. So
Oh yeah, she was
Yeah,
eating
there's that.
brownies or something. I saw that scene.
yeah. And then there's a scene in the first episode, I believe it was, where they have like the Starlight side, which I guess is supposed to be like Democrats, and then the Homelander side, which is supposed to be like, you know,
Yeah.
Trump conservative.
Yeah.
And then
Very subtle.
yeah, exactly. And then Sister Sage basically is controlling everything, and everyone is basically working under her thumb, but they don't know it. So Homelander's kind of like a pawn this season, and he doesn't even realize it to Sister Sage. And she's like in the crowd. She's wearing a hat, I guess. No one knows who she is really at the time. And she like throws a hot coffee in like a conservative's face and calls him a bigot or a fascist or something like that. And then that causes everybody to fight, and she kind of backs off and just lets like the outrage take over. And she does it on purpose to like destroy the Democrats, or I guess Starlight's like image and everything. And that's a whole thing. And so they're very obviously doing like a Homelander is super Trump, and the boys are supposed to be some sort of Democrat elite force, or I mean, that's the only way I can describe it, having watched every season so far, every episode.
Election time, you know, especially
yeah.
And it's all.
I mean, even look at the like the wallpaper, not the wallpaper. Sorry, like the screenshots and stuff that they used to use to promote this season. Right, you have Homelander standing there, American flag. He has all the dudes behind him with the security shields and shit. Like, it's very evidently that they're trying to make him into this allegory for Trump, and it's very deliberate, like you said, like the elections this year, obviously. So I think that's why they're doing it.
And the problem with that too is that like Homelander is such a fascinating character. Like, he's such a fascinating character, and I don't, even if I agreed with everything, I don't want to see him as a political allegory. I want to see him as Homelander, like at least a subtle one, make him. But like, he's so fascinating, and they've done this multiple times. Even sometimes, if it's someone writing and it's something I agree with, I'll be like, dude, just let me enjoy the story. Like,
well, they feel like they have
that's
a duty.
The problem
right?
these days, Coleman. That's the problem these days, is that everything now has to be an allegory for something in the real world. I mean, we're seeing it very in our face and very evident right now with the Acolyte, but it seems to be for the last, it's really ramped up in the last 5 years or so, where seems to be in every piece of media, every piece of entertainment, there is some sort of allegory for something going on in the real world. And it completely removes you from
they talk about this. They talk about how, as people with platforms and creators, that they have a duty, right? It's like
to tell people to vote Trump.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. Vote Trump, everybody in the chat. That's my duty to let all of you know. Don't vote for the degenerate that showers with his daughter.
But it just taints everything. It just like, let us enjoy the stuff.
Yep.
It's like my duty as a writer is to entertain people, right? That's what most people's job is, to tell a story. It's not to tell people. And I think most of us grew up by stories with just people varying beliefs, right? You weren't thinking, oh, I wonder how this person voted. But when you're shoving it in the audience's face, it's just obnoxious.
Yeah,
well,
they're never going to stop.
In my day, when you used to ask somebody who'd you vote for or something like that, it was like none of your business.
Trump.
Yeah, you're right. It used to be like that for real. Yeah, it used to,
I voted for him 4 years ago, and I voted for him the 4 years before that, and I'm going to vote for him again in November.
You don't ask that question to people. That's what my uncle told me when I was very young.
You're right.
You don't ask people who they vote for.